Closer?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, correct. Everybody good? Okay, hi. How are you guys today? Captain Assisto, Coventry Police Department. Right? So I'll just give you guys a little statement. I know you guys have been out here for a little bit. Right now our police department, our police department is currently conducting a follow-up investigation in this wooded area behind us in connection with a human remains case. Found human remains. So today our goal is to locate any additional evidence that may be in this area behind us that maybe have been left behind. So I want to make it very clear to the public that there is no public threat currently right now in this area or in the town of Coventry. We do expect the search to take up the remainder of today and probably into some of the evening hours. So I kind of ask for your patience as we work to diligently gather any additional evidence that may be there. The Coventry Police Department plans to hold a press conference probably later on in the week, which will obviously give us some time to kind of digest what we may or may not find today. So I thank you for coming out. Any questions? They'll be limited, but...
Yeah. Can you at least tell us more details about the body that you did find? When you found it?
So it's a little bit of an older case. I won't go into too much because I want to try to preserve the case as we still obviously are investigating it. So I'll kind of just probably leave it at that right now. So.
And just to be clear, this is linked to the search here last week as well.
Yes, that's correct. So the first time was more like a limited, kind of like a site visit. And obviously, as you can tell, there's a lot more people out here today, a lot more resources. So it's kind of a planning stage.
Can you confirm it's a female skull that was found?
I cannot confirm that right now.
Do you anticipate an arrest after this? So in other words, it was potentially a homicide?
So right now we're still in the fact-finding phase. Like I said, we're trying to gather as much evidence as we can before we move forward with our investigation.
Any insight to the strategy used? Looked like some grid searches, every area over there.
Yeah, so we're just really trying to be meticulous and kind of, it's a large area, which is why there's a lot of people. So we're just trying to, again, do our due diligence and make sure we kind of, uncover every stone if we need to have our best foot forward.
Would you say that you were successful in your search today?
We're still in the midst of it, you know what I mean? We're still trying to see what we come up with, and again, just really trying to be thorough here.
Can you touch on the, one thing the FBI, but the Joint Terrorism Task Force, what was their role here?
So the people behind us, they came out for a call out, so to speak. I'm not sure who they brought and why they brought certain people. I think it's just all hands on deck when you're trying to cover this larger an area. So just like we have different people and different roles from our department here, it's kind of more of just a manpower kind of thing. So.
The excavator, that's locally brought in?
Yes, that's just a town of Coventry, just to try to clear some of the brush for us.
Are you able to clarify were the human remains at some point found here, or this is just an area linked to the case?
So this is an area in connection with human remains that were found here. So we're just trying to search for it.
Just one more question. So when the remains were found, were the remains sent to FBI testing, and that's why they're on site?
No, that's not correct right now. Nope. No, that's not. All right?
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can you speak to what elevates to bring the FBI here? I know people usually see just local police department. What made the FBI?
So it's a large area. Our federal partners, we work with them all the time. They have resources that, some of the smaller towns and agencies don't. So just trying to do it right and get as many people and be as methodical as possible. So they were gracious enough to help us out today. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Again, everybody, we are back out here. We're going to slide into position.
How are you, John?
I'm well. Thank you. So, folks, you could hear there's a briefing. There's the chief of police, actually, of Coventry. That was Captain Assisto. Well, excuse me, everybody. We want to set up, just temporary, for the moment. Again, we're back out here. And hold on, everybody, just a moment. We need to go live very quickly. Oh, okay, great. All right, good. Everybody stand by. because there's a lot there. And again, we're going to be live. I want to, we're going to set up a different angle on this. Again, we're going to do our noon report here. So I'll tell you, I'll share with you the information that I have, and it does stem from, I want to get a better shot. Right over there, or I'm not sure. Okay, so this scene is obviously still very active. Now we're going to be live right now. I'm going to share with you in just a moment what I've heard. Oh,
Is that cool with you? Or is that
yeah, 100%. Folks, there's Sheena Lasciuto. Flawless. You don't have to ask permission. You guys have power of attorney with me.
I don't want to give you a shot. If it's
Flawless delivery, of course. The dream team.
Oh, thank you. How's everything with you? Good?
Good. Really good, actually.
We meet a lot of your fans. So.
Sorry about that.
No.
I apologize in advance. Not always.
I've seen a couple TikToks. You're right about that.
Yes. Yeah. Ride with me on Cranston Street some night. All right, folks, 104. We're going to be live on all of our platforms. Again, good afternoon, one and all. We want to be back here. I'm going to go on the information. We just had, you just heard police, and it's my understanding that they're anticipating. Now, again, good afternoon to everybody. Yep. If you're on Facebook, obviously, you can share that you're watching. If you're on TikTok, just make sure you follow the page. We're a little bit boxed in here, but we should be okay. It's just it's a little louder here by the canteen, and that area is a little blocked. We're going to stay right on the corner. I want to be able to see down the street just a little bit. I think we can come back. So, and I'm going to share with you as soon as we start at the top of the hour. And we're going to be live, as we always are, on the radio for the next hour. I'm just going to wait for JR to give me the cue. Okay, stand by, he says. And folks, we're going to go with it. It's not easy, but we're up to it. And we're going to be live in less than 1 minute. And I'm going to tell you what I know. Hopefully it's not different than what the police just told us. And there we go. At 106, good afternoon at 106. This is the real news. Now, right now, we are broadcasting on AM 1380 and also 99.9 FM. But wait, there's more. Now we are live on our Facebook page, and we're also live on TikTok. Now, for those that are watching, you see a very active scene, and we are coming to you from Coventry, Rhode Island, where the FBI and the Coventry police remain on scene. And we're right at Godory and Eisenhower. And I'm going to explain. We were here last Monday. And it has to do, it's my understanding, that, and the police, by the way, just wrapped up a press briefing where they confirmed for us what I had heard, which was they had found human remains on this plot of land straight ahead of you. I've heard, now they wouldn't comment. The police said they wouldn't confirm the things I heard, but I had heard it is a female. I have heard that they are looking at this as a homicide. I have also heard from very good sources that this is a case from about, what I was told was about 7 or 8 years ago, a female. So right now I'm not going to break any news here, but right now it's 2024, and it's it was a case in Rhode Island about 7 or 8 years ago. So you have to look at missing females from 7 or 8 years ago in Rhode Island. And you can see, for those that are watching, you can see they have the excavator right down. It's still going to work on this town land in Coventry. So now, the big thing that is, I want to just clarify, that certainly has gotten everyone's attention, is the presence of not only the FBI, but the Joint Terrorism Task Force that is also here. So those two things together certainly caught everyone's attention. And again, for those that were watching, we were here earlier, and the massive number of agents that were here. And I mean like 50 agents combing the ground, and you can still see the excavator that is out there and breaking up the land. I'm actually going to, for those that are watching, and again, we are live on Facebook and also on TikTok. That's a good shot. You can see. And I also want to, this is really important to point out, this whole block is a crime scene. The whole area. This is so unusual. Most of the time when we cover crime scenes, for those that are, if you're watching, look at how far that whole area there is blocked off, and then this is blocked off. They have the Providence Canteen here. Obviously, Channel 10, Channel 12 are here. We were here since this morning. And then the tents, I'm just setting up the tents that you're seeing right there. Those are seemingly that they're processing a lot of the materials that they're finding. So now, right now, they're still going to be here all day. So what does this mean? Well, I'm just going to jump to, it sure seems as though, it's my understanding that someone, now the people you're seeing, these are both detectives and both FBI and also a terrorism task force, Coventry police in and out, state police K9 is here. So it's my understanding that there's going to be an arrest following this. So that's what I understand and believe, that this is going to result in the arrest. I'm going to move around. For those that are, if you're watching, just bear with me, folks. And also, we want to stay in mode. This portion of our program is brought to you by PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. I'm going to move over just away. That's the sound of the canteen that is kind of loud. But PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. Stop in and see them. They have all of your Christmas items and wreaths and decorations. Stop in and see them. Steve and Debbie and Junior and Byron. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. Now, for those that are just tuning in, again, we are coming to you from Coventry. We were here earlier this morning. They're still here. And that is in conjunction with the FBI and the Joint Terrorism Task Force. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Look at this view. That is a really good... That gives you an idea of... Look at... Holy cow, the number of agents that are there. Wow. Let me zoom in on that. I know if you're on the radio... Again, we're live on both Facebook and TikTok. I want to, wow, that's a large number of agents. I'm going to zoom in for everybody. We just haven't seen, there's the K9. Oh, here comes again. The K9s are in and out. There's the K9, but I want to just zoom in on Boy, that seems to be an area that they are very interested in. Now it's... Oh, now what you can hear the canine in the background. And thank you for the cap. So that is a large number of agents, like something out of a movie. Now, it's my understanding. I also want to show everybody. Okay, that's a decent that you can see everybody. I also, it's my understanding that they found some remains here's what I've been told from very good source, that they found a skull and they are looking for bones. I know that sounds kind of gruesome, but that's what I've been told. I've been told that they did find a human skull, but now they're trying to find some of the bones connected with it. And now, again, I want to also clarify, we were, when you see FBI, everybody, here comes again this FBI agent that we've been seeing all day. For those that are watching, she's been very, very active in going back and forth. It's just not a scene that you see in Coventry all the time, or anywhere for that matter. But I want to, I think what the police were saying was really important, because people have sometimes a different understanding of when the FBI gets involved. Most of the time, it is for a crime that maybe a body was taken over state lines. Boy, there's an awful number. Look at that large number of FBI agents that now they're fanning back out again. And according to the police, they seem to act as though, no, they're just their normal partners. Because that's what I had been led to believe, that this had to do with that they had sent the remains that were found earlier to an FBI lab, and then thus that's why the FBI was then continuing to be involved with this particular search. Now, the police kind of shot that down a little bit, but here's the big question is, who is the Rhode Island female whose remains were found here? And I'm going to go with, what I have been told from very, very reliable sources, that there's going to be an arrest out of this, and that it was a local case, and it was, so you start to look into who is, and police know who is a female who has been missing since 2015, 2016. That's what I was told, about 7 or 8 years ago. It could have been a little bit longer, but someone who went missing right around 2015, 2016, somewhere in that vicinity, and the remains that were found, I was told, were sent to an FBI lab. And thus, that's why they are helping to conduct. And what they're attempting to do is locate any types of bones that may belong to the individual that was found here. So they're kind of wrapping it up. But I've been led to believe that there is going to be an arrest following this investigation, meaning this was a homicide. So it sure sounds as though someone, female, was a victim of, had their life taken away, and then their remains were put here on this land, and then when some remains were found earlier this summer, the police have been trying to determine who exactly is the individual who the remains that they found, and then that's where we are today. But just to point out to people, this is highly unusual. Right now, right now it's 1:16 in the east. police did just as we came on, they confirm it's linked to a human remains case. So at some point, somebody definitely, there's someone that's missing out there. Thank you, Wonderlust, who is connected to this. And police are not saying who, but you can see right now, if you're watching, you can see they have the leaf blower. So it's my understanding that they are looking for any more potential remains that may be connected to the earlier remains that they found. I was told it was this past summer. Now, I know that people may wonder, gee, what took so long? But it's not like a movie. It's not like the situation in New York. Sometimes you have these cases that linger out there, and this certainly seems to be one of them, that police are sent the remains to be tested, and then suddenly now you have this massive search. Now, I also want to just point out for everybody who is tuning in, and again, we are on AM 1380, 99.9 FM. You can listen live at the website, which is dpetro.com. Now, we are live on both Facebook and TikTok, and this portion of the program is brought to you by Propane Plus. For all your propane needs, call Propane Plus today. Rhode Island and Massachusetts, and always online at propaneplus.com. I do want to point out, this is a massive crime scene is what this is, with all the yellow tape, that they have basically formed an entire crime scene around this plot of land. Now, I was also told by someone that this at one point was private property, and then the individual donated it to the town. But you can see that is police blocking off all the way down there. And then last Monday, the FBI was here, and they were more combing the ground. But this business of having the excavator, that's another level. And I want to once again just point out to everyone who's watching the extensive nature of this. This is the largest crime scene. I mean, we've done a lot of Rhode Patrol and on the scene live stream, and I mean, number one, this is the largest crime scene we've ever covered. Number two, it's also the largest number of agents that we've ever seen involved in something like this. Where at one point earlier this morning, I counted 50 agents that are part of it. Now, those that are watching, you can see they're using the leaf blower to blow away, and then these are all agents that are in there with rakes, and then they put down, there's a good shot if I move down here. See, you can see that blue tarp. And see the blue tarp that is down on the ground in there. What they do is they put anything potentially that they find in the tarp, and then we've seen the agents in those tents right up there. They sift through it, and then they also have the canine go through some of it. So now, because you have to, as someone mentioned to me earlier, they could be finding bones of birds, they could find a bone of a squirrel, they could find, all kinds of different animals, dead dog, dead cat, like who knows what could be there. But obviously it's my understanding that from very good sources connected to the investigation, that what they found this past summer was a female skull, and now they're trying to locate some of the bones and body that is connected to the individual that they found. So now I've also been told it's linked to a case from, I was told about 7 or 8 years ago. Now, again, right off the bat, I don't recall a missing person case, but I do know that I've been told it's not a recent case. Someone sent me something saying they believed it was some male drug dealer or something like that from like a month ago. That's not the information. It's not the information that I have. But it is because of tying in with a human remains case. So you can see that excavator. Now they're going to continue. We just carried the press briefing just a short time ago. So they're going to be out here for the remaining part of the day, really combing and going through. And then I also want to make it clear to people, right now at 1:22, but it is the last day that they're going to be searching here. So we saw them last Monday, and now here they are back, and this is far more of an extensive search that they're doing right now. But they haven't let us know which case that it's connected to. So right now at 1:22, folks, on this Tuesday, I want to remind you also, this is the real news. We're live 1 to 2 each day. Most of the time we're also live on YouTube. We're also live on X, but not today, just because it's a little bit of a challenge trying to do it. I want to thank JR for picking up the sound on this. Just for this type of broadcast, we are live on both Facebook and TikTok. And again, make sure you follow both pages, especially if you're on TikTok. You can tap the screen. With Facebook, we just hit 74,000 followers. And TikTok, we're getting closer to 80,000. So follow all of our platforms, folks. Again, this is live scene. We were basically almost just about a tie to be the first one here this morning, but this is an extensive search. And as I was mentioning last week, as a matter of fact, but I want to mention and stay on target, this portion of the program, folks, brought to you by J. Perry Paving. Call them today. Still not too late to get your driveway or parking lot paved. Call J. Perry Paving today. And again, we share their Facebook page. So J. Perry Paving, serving Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. So I know nationally the big story is the shooter. That bizarre story of how he's basically being turned into a hero for some reason by a lot of young people because he's young and he's in shape. And I also know that a big story locally is also this foolishness regarding Governor McKee and his plans for the bridge. But right now, where we are, this is a very extensive search. And as I mentioned last week, that's the chainsaw you can hear in the background. As I mentioned last week, there were 2 instances locally that three actually that I can think of, where you saw a number of agents and them digging in this manner. One in Massachusetts was when they discovered where Whitey Bulger and the Winter Hill game, where Whitey Bulger, they were burying those bodies, as made famous in the movie Black Mass. They pulled a bunch of bodies out of there. It was underneath a bridge, and they used it as like a mob graveyard. Number 2, two local examples was when Joe Onions. There was someone on a deathbed confession told authorities that Joe Onions, who was a member of organized crime, thank you, he was underneath an apartment complex in East Providence. So when we were there live for that, I still get a Christmas card from the people that I was watching that with. That went on for 2 days when they finally found Joe Onions in a deathbed confession. And then or as I think of it, or was Joe Onions the one that gave the deathbed confession? I don't remember. I'll look it up. But then the other one was, just a couple years ago, Stephen DeSaro. He owned the Channel nightclub in Boston, and he was taken out by Cadillac Frank and Cadillac Frank's son and Steve Flemmy. And then they called Bobby DeLuca, Joe DeLuca, was called, and he had to meet them and pick up, quote, the package, and then they buried it behind a mill on Branch Avenue. And on Branch Avenue, suddenly, there was somebody that owned the mill that got jammed up, and it was going to be one of those 3 strikes and you're out. And then suddenly they do the thing, unless you can tell us something we don't know. And then he shared with them who was buried underneath the mill. So, but other than that, I want to just point out, now granted, locally, a lot of people might mention that there was a missing persons case out of Warwick, and you had Charlotte Lester. But, number one, they didn't alert everyone. Number two, it was a hunter that found. Those that are watching, you can see there's the canines are very active here with the search. These canines are just phenomenal. But with the Charlotte Lester case, it's my understanding that the hunter alerted someone, and then they alerted the Rhode Island State Police because it was in Exeter, and they contacted Rhode Island DEM. And then they went out, they immediately tested it, and then they determined that it was, in fact, Charlotte Lester. So it's also interesting, as they're digging and then they stop, it kind of reminds me of when they were digging up at Ground Zero, where they'd be digging in the pile, and they'd be digging, and then they'd stop, and then that means that maybe they found someone, and then they would bring them out. But with this particular situation, they already have found the remains. It's my understanding, or some remains. It's my understanding that it was a human skull that was found, and now they're just trying to find some of the body associated with it. That's what I've been told, and I feel very good about that information. I mean, when I did ask the police earlier, thank you for that, Kara. When I did ask the police earlier when they had the press briefing, I think they just said they didn't want to comment on it, which is fine. I'm not trying to one-up them. I'm just trying to, in a situation like that, right now at 1:29, I'm just trying to make sure that we have the right information. And now earlier, because of that, we had someone earlier on the live stream that posted something completely false. My daughter told me blah blah blah, and it's totally false, but that's not what it is. Now I do want to mention that right now at 1:30, what you're watching, this is our live coverage. Such an unusual scene here with the FBI, the Joint Terrorism Task Force. Now that's a good shot for those that are watching right there. You can get a good sense of just how many agents there are. Look, it's like a traveling mob of FBI that are digging there. It's like they're looking for fossils. And then what they do is they put it on that, see that blue tarp? They put anything they find on that, and then they sift through it in the tents. So it's a very meticulous search. But right now, again, at 1:30, this is I'm not even gonna, there'll be other days to talk about the bridge. I'll also say I don't know what to make of all the people online that are treating the Luigi, treating him like a hero. I mean, the guy did that to a completely innocent individual in broad daylight less than a week ago in Midtown Manhattan. But the number of both, by the way, men and women that are reaching out to the guy and saying start a defense fund, and he's definitely being treated as like a folk hero, for crying out loud. I don't know, like everybody else, exactly what to make of that. So, but right now, this brings us back. This is Rhode Patrol Live, and what you're looking at, and you don't see it a lot. Of all the live streams we've done, I don't recall anything like this, so extensive, where you have so many. That's what's also really struck me. So many federal authorities that are out here. And it sure sounds, and this is the final day they're doing this, by the way. This is the final day. So they started this morning. It was just about 8 o'clock. They got here. The excavator is new. That's different. And they've just descended on this patch. And now we're going to have to, I think they said, at the top of the hour, there was a police briefing and they did say that they are anticipating that there's going to be a press conference later in the week that Coventry would hold about this. So, again, not trying to jump ahead, but I would think that that's going to be to announce some sort of arrest in connection to this. That's what I've been told. I've been told that this was clearly a homicide, and whoever committed it has been permitted so far to get away with it, and probably thinking that, that they never found a body, so therefore they don't charge anybody. But I've been told that this is connected to a case from I was told about 7 or 8 years ago. So I started to look a little bit earlier. I have some idea, but because of the nature of this and the sensitive nature of it, I don't want to say which. I'm going to leave it for police. I don't want to say it and then be wrong. You could see there's definitely a method where the excavator removes some of the land, and then what you're looking at is those are all the FBI agents that are then waiting to go in, and then they're going to sift through that particular area that the excavator clears. And again, not to be redundant here, but I believe, it's my understanding that it's a female. They did find a skull earlier this summer, sent away for testing, and it's it's connected to a case from about 7 to 8 years ago. So again, I have some information. I want to wait. I'm going to let the police put it out. They've come this far with it. It's their case. I don't want to. There also could be, by the way, there could be family connected, and I don't want to jump the gun. You can see, for those that are, if you're watching, see those blue tarps. That's where then they put whatever they find, and then they bring it up. But it's very extensive with those tents that they have. I mean, I count 4 tents over there, and that's all to analyze the evidence. Folks, you can also get an idea. I think this is a good example. You get an idea of just that when the feds, when they go all in, I mean, they do not. This is the most extensive search that we've seen in something in this area on something like this. So now there could be, as I wanted to mention, there could be families that are out there that are wondering if they're ever going to hear about a missing family member who's out there and someone that disappeared. But it's my understanding on this Tuesday, right now at 1:35, Tuesday, December 10th, it is my understanding that it's possible. I don't know. I'm hearing some different things. I'm going to wait, but it's my understanding it's a case from, like I said, just about 7 or 8 years ago. I know some people are putting out some other different information. I really want to wait on this until we get an idea, and we'll know soon enough. Folks, this portion of our program, don't forget about, totally, this is not the best segue in the world, but don't forget about Kids Club. Kids Club on the Pike. Perfect spot to have that youth party or Christmas party. I share their Facebook page. Kids can enjoy themselves and have fun. Kids Club on the Pike, right there on the Johnston Cranston line, right off of 295. Kids Club on the Pike. Now, I also want to use this opportunity to thank all of our star senders on Facebook and thank all of our gift senders on TikTok. Again, if you're on TikTok, make sure you follow the page. If you're on Facebook, same thing. You can always share that you're watching. We do, well, you don't get a lot of this. We certainly don't get a lot of this, but we do live police scenes. So if this is the type of thing, now we do also, we're also on YouTube, and we post a lot of the video on our website, which is depetro.com. Now, for those that are, depending on the angle, you can see that the FBI agents are continuing to comb through all the material And I want to mention, I'm still just struck at the sheer number of individuals that are involved with this. Just a quick note about locally what happened as far as Governor McKee and his bridge press conference. I want to also point out, I thought it was particularly embarrassing that they're trying to pretend as though things are fine. And I really want to call out the mayor of East Providence. For him to say that things have returned to normal and businesses are doing well, I can't believe that they're actually trying to spin that. The closing of the Washington Bridge, and as we've talked about, it's not just that, it throws off traffic everywhere. It throws off traffic on 95. It's destroyed quality of life. It's, we're just excited and things are back to normal, and there's Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee back with his, it's like a 10-minute delay and traffic during the day is smooth. It's just they're like delusional. The Washington Bridge is it's put people out of business. People have quit jobs. It has destroyed quality of life, and it starts backing up on 95 in the afternoon to the Cranston line. It was like a delusional press conference, but I can't believe the mayor of East Providence actually got up there. Things have returned to normal. Return to normal? You can't go anywhere without sitting in traffic. No, I know people are watching and listening from other parts of the country. Listen, the whole nature of this area is supposed to be quality of life. It's safe, easy to get around, get anywhere you need to be in 15, 20 minutes. That's been blown up. Total falsehood. And now they're all excited, and they have people pitching the business to build the bridge. Yeah, who wouldn't want to build something that then there's no ramifications? I still can't believe, by the way, not one person has lost their job. Not one person demoted. Those guys act like it was an act of God. Someone was paid huge money to inspect the bridge. And by the way, the FBI that you're looking at, they're handling the case. So there's no end to the nonsense with Governor McGreed. This is insanity. But I couldn't believe, and we're back now to our live coverage of the FBI digging for remains here in Coventry. But I can't believe the mayor of East Providence, like what is being promised here at some point, like that was just, I don't know what he's talking about. There's no one that wants to live in the East Bay because of it. And as I've said, and not only that, there's no end in sight. Now you can see, here's some of the FBI agents that are lounging around, going to the canteen, by the way. It's doing a fantastic job. Now, once again, right now on this Tuesday, you're listening, this is live coverage. FBI has descended into Coventry, Rhode Island, once again. We are live on our Facebook page. We are live on TikTok. We are live on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM, and we're also live on DePetro.com. Folks, this portion of the program, just another reminder as the danger that's out there. I just want to remind people to stop in and see George right there on Post Road, Rhode Island, Pew Pew, and Ammo. Look at that. Look how the whole area is blocked off with agents. And there you can see them all. Stop in and see George right off Route 37. It's not your imagination. Crime is just seemingly getting worse. So you need to protect yourself and your family. Rhode Island, Pew Pew, and Ammo. Post Road right down from Greg's and Route 37. Stop in and see my guy George. Remember, we talk to him once a week, and also you can always tell him you're a friend of the show, follower of the show. He's tremendous. Stop in and see him. Well, folks, again, You can see it is non-stop with these agents as they are continuing to dig here in Coventry. Again, we are live on both Facebook and TikTok, but I mean, not only is this unusual, I don't know when we would ever see something like this again, where you have this number of FBI agents coming in and combing through here. Now, I think it's also really important to point out, though, that they are saying that this is a local case. This is a local case, and the reason why the FBI is on scene is because the FBI's on scene because the police said they're working with several different partners, whether it's the state police or the FBI, and I think the FBI brought the joint, the terrorism task force, the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We're seeing people walk by with JTTF on their jackets, and that's what that is. But just to repeat, it's my understanding this is connected to a case, and it sure sounds like this was a homicide, because this isn't a cemetery, from about 7 to 8 years ago. That's my understanding of the remains that they found. But it is a human remains case, and that's why you see all this activity, and this is why you see all the agents that continue to sift through everything here in Coventry. Boy, this street, this is the second time this street, this is like this is absolutely the biggest thing that's going on in Coventry right now. I mean, Coventry is usually a pretty quiet town, but not today. Now, folks, again, we will be doing Rhode Patrol Live later, but just trying to show you the nature, and for those that are watching, you can still see all the agents. Right now, the excavator, I'm going to move down. The excavator has stopped, but that's because they dig up a certain area, and then they let the agents sift through it. Again, if you're watching, you can see all the FBI agents right in front of you right there. That's actually a good shot. And so the excavator, they'll dig, and then they stop, just like this, and then that's all the agents that are moving through everything. So let me can try to zoom in just a little bit, but I like right now, you get a good idea of the extensive nature of this. Now, it's my understanding what they are looking for is more human remains. That's what they're searching for right now. So again, we didn't know last Monday. Who knew exactly what it was? We've learned a little bit more. We know more than we knew a week ago, and Coventry Police did say that they expect to have a press briefing later in the week. And I want to repeat, it's my understanding that there's going to be an arrest in this case. Yes, that's what I believe they're looking to dig up. So, and it would make sense. I mean, so someone discovered a skull. Right now it's 1:45. Someone discovered a skull earlier, a few months ago. They send it out for testing. They get an idea of who it is, and then I don't know why it took so long, but they're back, and okay, we found part of the body. Now let's see, or we did find the head, so let's see if we can find the rest of the individual. But to repeat, the police have said very little. That they did confirm today that it was a human remains case. The police said they would have, they said probably a press conference later in the week. I find that intriguing, and so we'll follow up with that. But this is, I can't understate the unusual nature of, it was very unusual when the FBI was here last Monday. It's even more unusual that they're back here again on this Tuesday. And they're back with even a bigger group than they were last Monday. Far bigger, as a matter of fact. Much more agents that are involved with this whole thing. But now it does make sense. Now, I also want to mention, it's my understanding that this will be the final day of this. So it sure seems as though they're satisfied that they're going to complete the task by the end of today, whatever that may be. So thank you to everybody on Facebook who supports our program, and the same thing with TikTok. You know, I have a feeling, I'm told, that this won't be the only federal agency that we're going to see more involved in this part of the country. I mean, I'm hearing that it is. Now, I'm live right now, so okay.
So
So-
should I unfollow you?
No. It's just I'm just trying to tell people so then they're not caught off guard. That's all. So folks, again, I'm told that this area, that ICE is really looking to extend into our area because the sheer number of new arrivals that are here, and also the lack of cooperation that they get from local authorities like Governor McKee that doesn't play ball. So people are surprised that I'm live, even though they're watching live. But anyhow, right now, as we are still on scene right now at 1:48, we are in Coventry. This is, and when I say the real news, this is about as real as it gets, where you can see all the different FBI agents that are digging right there. This is in Coventry for those that are watching. And just make sure, if you're on TikTok, you want to make sure that you can follow our Facebook page, and that way you don't miss anything. And make sure you tap the screen and make sure you follow everybody on Facebook. Thank you. With the whole thing with the bridge and everything, we'll deal with that tomorrow. That's just foolishness. It's one thing you want to announce that they're going to be, who's going to be rebuilding the new bridge, even though they're trying to build it almost as excitement and a competition. But for them to get up there and almost be taking bows, I don't understand. You know, I know we're watching the FBI dig here in Coventry, but let me just say this about the bridge. And I think the media were actually pretty polite today. I don't know why should we believe anything that was said today when this whole time they have been totally unreliable with the information that we've been told. And I know that the mayor of East Providence, I know Mayor De Silva has political ambition, but to get up there and try to act as though everything is fine, folks, the state companies are leaving because of the poor infrastructure. And for them to get up there and just why they told us it was going to be 3 months, and they said initially it was just going to be a temporary situation. I don't even believe them when they say that it's safe. I don't know why we should believe anything that they're saying. What I also found appalling, and again, for those that are just tuning in, you're looking now. Here's the I just want to show. There's the individual going by from the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We don't see that a lot. I'll have to wait till he comes back this way. I don't have any faith or credibility. I don't think they have any credibility. I don't believe anything that they say. I don't think they want to tell everyone exactly what's happening and how bad the situation is. But again, we are back live. For those that are just tuning in, this is a very unusual, but it is an FBI search right now in Coventry at 1:51. And you have the FBI, you have the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and Coventry Police also obviously involved. Also state police are involved. and we have the canines out, and they have an excavator, and this is a human remains case that they are working on right now. And it's my understanding, they said earlier, police told us earlier, and by the way, I want to thank police that actually just waited until I was completely set before they did the press briefing. But they know we're out here a lot. They know that Rhode Patrol, that we cover them. But the Coventry police, they expect to have, they expect that they're going to have a briefing later in the week. And right now it's 1:52. And as I was saying, it's my understanding that it was female remains that were found. That's a good shot right there where you can really see the FBI agents, and they continue to comb and sort through this area. But it's my understanding that it was female remains that were found on this piece of property. And what you're seeing is a very extensive FBI combing through. So you find some remains, and it's my understanding what they found was above the neck. And then what you do is then they say, okay, let's see the rest of what else that we can find. As though, it's not just, and as I said, it's so odd to see all these FBI agents combing around. The last time I saw this many FBI was, I was up in Boston covering after the Boston Marathon bombing, and the city was just absolutely taken over by FBI. So they are everywhere. It's actually like a form of economic development here for Coventry. So, and by the way, I will confirm it is true that when I was speaking with one of the agents, they said stay tuned when it comes to Governor McKee and that investigation into him. So I think that is really interesting, folks. It's my understanding they're very intrigued with what's going to happen with the Washington Bridge. Thank you, everybody on Facebook. So supportive, so generous. But again, back to our live coverage. Again, this is the real news. We're live every day from 1 to 2. Now, we are live right now on AM 1380, 99.9 FM. It's 1:54. And we're also live, normally, we're usually live on YouTube as well, and X. But right now, we are live on Facebook. We're also live on TikTok. And we will be doing Rhode Patrol Live later. But this is a very unusual, very extensive search that they are doing here in Coventry. But it's the police claim, well, our partners reached out, but I'm just going to say, as someone that covers crime scenes, number one, there's the largest crime scene I've ever seen. Number two, what also can't be ignored is most of the time, it'd be one thing if it was just Coventry police. It'd be one thing if it was just state police with Coventry police. But FBI, Joint Terrorism Task Force, this is certainly another level. So listen, it also builds intrigue. I have a feeling that I will know. I have several people that have reached out to me that are good sources that are telling me they know the case that's involved. But I don't want to, number one, I don't want to get it wrong, and number two, I want to respect it. It's the police working on the investigation. I think the biggest thing that Coventry police mention is that they want everyone in the area to know that that the area is safe. Now, I'm seeing someone just sent me the alleged United Healthcare CEO shooter had an outburst while being led to an extradition hearing. He yelled out, "This is completely unjust and insulting the intelligence of the American people and their lived experience." So that certainly sounds like someone, as people are speculating, that wants to get caught. Because the whole thing, now again, I know depending on the platform, there are so many TikToks of people that are saying, let's raise money for him, and he's a hero, and he's really good looking. By the way, both men and women. But I mean, I don't know. The whole thing is just is crazy. I mean, I think Daniel Penny is someone that was certainly protecting the public, but I don't know about Luigi here. So, but it's just crazy. The number of both, and again, men and women. There's a TikTok of a guy calling on President Biden to pardon him. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, here comes some more of the FBI agents. Again, if I want to repeat, thank you to everybody on Facebook, everybody on TikTok. Make sure you follow the page. It's just a casual day of the FBI in Coventry, Rhode Island, as they're going for a little lunchtime stroll. This is what life could be like in Rhode Island. As the feds start to move in, as ICE, I've heard ICE is going to open a Rhode Island office. This could start to become commonplace, that people of Rhode Island start to see FBI agents roaming the streets. At some point, we could be doing a road patrol of the governor of Rhode Island on the loose, on the lam, maybe in a manhunt, depending on if he flees with the criminal conduct. We don't know. All right, let me stay on schedule here. Again, right now it is 1:58, and coming up at 2 o'clock, if you're listening to the radio, you will hear the 2 o'clock news. The situation with the alleged individual that they got in Pennsylvania, that obviously is still the major news. Nationally, locally, the big news is the fiasco and Governor McKee trying to convince everyone that it's going to be great when the bridge is built and completed in 2035. I think another headline is just that mayor of East Providence. I couldn't believe that. You know, the people of East Providence are just grateful this happened. I don't know anyone that thinks that. I have no idea what he's talking about. I think these people have been to the cannabis store too many times. All right, here's what we're going to do. At 1:59, we will be back on the radio tomorrow at 11. Stay tuned for the 2 o'clock news. Everyone that's online, we will be doing Road Patrol Live later. So I want to thank JR for cooperating. Again, the big story locally is the press conference on the bridge. Big story nationally is the situation with the gunman. And then you've been watching our live coverage and listing of the FBI in Coventry as they continue to search human remains. Everyone on the radio, enjoy this Tuesday. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We will be back later on. Again, you can see more of the agents that continue to fan out here as this search continues. We'll have more updates later.